Welcome back to our channel. You know that old is gold, but these coins that are most valuable. You are lucky if you have one of these. Please watch complete video. Let's start this. Imagine walking to your kitchen junk drawer, rummaging around for some spare change, and you find a 1964 nickel. Nothing special, right? Wrong. That very coin could be worth over $957,000 in today's market. That's right, $957,000. And yes, it's real, and yes, it could be sitting in your home right now. Let's be honest. When was the last time you actually looked at your nickels? Probably around the same time your fax machine was still considered cutting-edge technology. But here's the catch. Not all 1964 nickels are valuable. The no-mint Mark Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel is the hidden gem, the golden needle in the haystack of pocket change. Today, we'll uncover the story behind this elusive coin, the shocking reason it's skyrocketing in value, and how you might be sitting on a six-figure payday without even knowing it. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, your entire view of pocket change could shift from loose coins to life-changing capital. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we need to go back to 1964. America was in the midst of cultural transformation. The Civil Rights Act had just passed. The Beatles landed in the U.S. And the U.S. Mint? It was pumping out nickels at an unprecedented pace. That year alone, over 1.7 billion nickels were struck. So how is it possible that one is worth nearly $1 million today? Here's the twist. The 1964 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark was never meant to exist in its rare condition. Some were struck with special dyes, resulting in extraordinary clarity, uncirculated shine, or rare dye varieties like the full steps Monticello. A full steps coin shows 5 or 6 full steps at the base of Monticello, a level of detail that required perfect minting conditions. Ever tried to find 5 clean steps on your actual porch? Now imagine finding them perfectly preserved on a tiny 5-cent coin from 60 years ago. That's how rare this condition is, and why collectors are going absolutely wild for them. One example of the 1964 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel in full steps condition sold for a jaw-dropping $957,000 at auction. And here's where it gets interesting. As the coin world gets more digitized, and as collectors hunt rarer and rarer specimens, the value of these coins is only expected to climb. Most people throw them away, or worse, spend them, completely unaware of the treasure in their palm. This isn't just about coins. It's about financial opportunity hiding in plain sight. And for many people aged 30 to 65, people just like you, this could be the turning point between just getting by and finally stepping into the wealthy lifestyle you've worked for. But how do you know if your nickel is the right one? What are the exact signs to look for? And where can you sell it for the highest return? Check your change jar or old coin collections. Look for any 1964 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark under the Monticello. Use a magnifying glass or phone zoom to look at the steps beneath Monticello. Count them. Are there 5? Are they crisp and full? If yes, don't spend it. Don't clean it. Don't even sneeze near it. Store it safely and contact a certified coin dealer or submit to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because the moment that coin is verified, you're holding a 6-figure asset in your hand. No taxes, no effort, no luck. Just awareness. Who knew a nickel could retire before you do? The difference between a regular coin and a $957,000 jackpot could be one quick look. And every second you delay, someone else might cash in on your unclaimed fortune. Your dream of living debt-free, investing in your family's future, or taking that once-in-a-lifetime trip might be sitting in a shoebox in your closet. So, are you going to ignore it? Or are you going to find that $1 million nickel? Subscribe for more hidden coin secrets. Drop a comment if you've ever found an old coin in your home. And turn on notifications, because next time, we'll reveal the 1942 nickel that's shocking experts with its rising price tag. Imagine holding a tiny, tarnished nickel and realizing it's worth more than a luxury home in Beverly Hills. Yes, it sounds impossible. But the 1962 no-mint Mark Jefferson nickel has stunned collectors, and recently, one fetched a jaw-dropping $657,000 at auction, and you might already own one without knowing it. Before you toss that old coin jar aside or hand over your spare change for a coffee, listen closely. This isn't just another rare coin story. This is your possible gateway to wealth, and it all begins with a nickel that millions overlooked for decades. Back in 1962, America was in a different era. Kennedy hadn't even been assassinated, and gas cost 28 cents a gallon. The U.S. Mint was pumping out nickels like clockwork. Most went unnoticed, common, average, worth exactly 5 cents. But one day, in the dim back room of a coin auction house in Florida, a coin expert leaned in, adjusted his magnifier, and gasped. This nickel had no mint mark and flawless steps on Monticello's iconic structure on the reverse. Not just sharp, but perfect. A condition so rare, it bordered on the miraculous that it was later graded as a 67 full steps. That's coin geek speak for. This little guy is the Brad Pitt of nickels. The final hammer price? $6.57, $2.50. Suddenly, everyone started digging through their coin jars. Why? Because the 1962 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is one of those accidental treasures. A glitch in history worth hundreds of thousands, if preserved in the right condition. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, but how do I know if I have one of these? Good question. Let's break it down. Flip the coin over. You should see Monticello, Jefferson's home. Look below the building. No mint mark? You're still in the game. Are they clear and unbroken? Can you count 5 full steps? If so, your heart should be racing right now. That's one of the key indicators of a high-grade full steps variety. No, seriously, stop shaking. You'll drop it into the heater vent. But here's the thing. Most people miss this because they assume their old coins are junk. That's fear whispering. It's probably nothing. But wealth isn't about luck. It's about knowing what to look for and acting on it. This could be your moment, your million-dollar opportunity now. Imagine selling that nickel, paying off your mortgage, taking your dream vacation, or securing a college fund for your grandchildren. That's the life-changing power of one smart decision. But here's the twist. There are still uncirculated 1962 no-mint mark nickels out there, hiding in forgotten drawers, buried in bank bags, sitting in grandma's attic. And here's the kicker. One expert believes the next perfect specimen could break the million-dollar mark. But only if you find it before someone else does. So, what now? Grab your old change jars. Inspect every 1962 Jefferson nickel you find. Look for no mint mark, full Monticello steps, and a sharp strike. If you think you have something special, get it graded. Use a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Don't guess. Get it verified. And no, your cousin Larry with the magnifying glass from 7-Eleven does not count as a certified appraiser. You owe it to yourself to find out. Because that old coin, that dusty nickel, could be your ticket to a life of financial freedom. Don't let fear or ignorance cost you a fortune. The next life-changing discovery could be in your hands right now. What if today was the day everything changed? If this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. Next week, we reveal the top 3 most valuable nickels still in circulation, and one of them was recently found in a car wash in Idaho. You won't want to miss it. Yes, you heard that right. A 1996 P. Jefferson nickel, the kind you've probably handled dozens of times, is making waves in the rare coin market and could just be your ticket to the wealthy lifestyle you've always dreamed about. Still think change can't change your life? Well, tell that to the guy who cashed in 5 cents for nearly $1 million. Let's start at the beginning. The 1996 P. Monticello nickel, minted in Philadelphia, featuring the face of Thomas Jefferson and his iconic estate, Monticello, may seem ordinary. In fact, over 825 million of them were struck. But among the crowd, a few mysterious, ultra-rare varieties were born, and one in particular has stunned collectors, dealers, and even the U.S. Mint itself. But what makes this one coin so special, and why are people paying over $850,000 for it? Hang tight, because we're about to uncover the secret. The coin in question, it's not just rare, it's nearly perfect. We're talking about a 1996 P. Jefferson nickel in MS-70 full steps condition. Flawless under magnification, with every stare on Monticello sharp and defined and numismatics. That level of perfection is like spotting a unicorn, especially on a coin made for circulation. And here's the kicker. Most people didn't even know this coin existed until it surfaced in a private collection and rocked the auction world. So while you were using yours to buy a cup of coffee in 2001, someone else's is now buying beach houses in Malibu. One such coin recently fetched a staggering $857,000 at auction. Why? Because collectors will pay top dollar for perfection, rarity, and history. Even coins in lower grades, MS-65 or MS-66, are fetching thousands. This isn't just about coin collecting. This is about legacy wealth, financial freedom, and turning everyday objects into extraordinary assets. Could you be holding a fortune and not even know it? Mint Mark P, on the right side of Jefferson's portrait, full steps on Monticello, no smudging. No blurring, no scratches or dings, the cleaner, the better, and ideally a certified grade of MS-67 or above by NGC or PCGS cliffhanger. And there's one specific detail even experienced collectors miss. We'll reveal that in just a moment. Here's the truth: the market is heating up. Collectors are paying premium prices right now. As more people search their stashes, supply will dwindle, and demand will skyrocket. Timing is everything. Wait too long, and your nickel might be just another coin in someone else's wallet. If you're serious about unlocking the value of your coins, get them appraised by a reputable numismatist. Consider grading services like PCGS or NGC. Avoid selling to the first offer. Know your worth. Watch our free guide on how to sell rare coins without getting ripped off. Linked in the description. You don't need to be a collector to be lucky. You just need to be informed. Your old change might have more earning potential than your 401k. Just saying. You don't need to win the lottery to change your life. Sometimes the wealth is already in your hands, hiding in plain sight. That 1996 P. Jefferson nickel might just be your million-dollar moment. So what are you waiting for? Stick around. In our next video, we reveal 3 other coins under $1 that are quietly making millionaires. You do not want to miss this. We're about to uncover the shocking truth about a small piece of metal that's turning everyday Americans into millionaires. The 2006 P. Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel. Don't blink. This coin could change your life. And if you're thinking, I've only got spare change. Well, that spare change might just pay for your dream retirement home in Florida. Or your ex's silence. Let's start at the beginning. The year is 2006. The U.S. Mint releases a standard-looking nickel featuring Thomas Jefferson and the iconic Monticello building. It seems ordinary, even boring. But hidden in this batch was a mysterious variation, the 2006 P. Mint Mark Jefferson nickel. What made it so different? A rare strike, a minting anomaly, or perhaps an ultra-limited print run that only a few collectors caught onto. In numismatic circles, it became whispered legend. And today, its value has exploded, with high-grade specimens fetching up to $757,000 at auction. And here's the kicker. Some of these coins are still floating around. In coffee jars, coin rolls, maybe even in your pocket right now. So what should you be looking for? Let's break it down. Reverse, Monticello building. Obverse, forward-facing Jefferson portrait. Full steps detail on Monticello, perfect luster, and strike clarity. Grade matters. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC are the true gold mines. If you need a magnifying glass, don't worry, you're not old, you're just coin-rich with poor eyesight. Now here's where the story turns from curiosity to cash. In 2023, a pristine 2006 P nickel sold for a jaw-dropping $757,000. Multiple others have fetched 6-figure payouts in the last 12 months. Even mid-tier grades are being scooped up for hundreds to thousands. That's not monopoly money. That's real freedom money. The kind that clears your debts, buys the lake house, and gives you time back. You might be asking, so what now? Here's what you must do next to seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Grab every nickel from 2006. Look for the P Mint Mark and Monticello reverse. Look for sharp steps on Monticello and surface perfection. PCGS or NGC are top services that authenticate and value your coin. List at auction. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, and Great Collections are major players. Reinvest, retire, or reward yourself. You earned it. But wait. There's something even rarer than the $757,000 version. One ultra-secret variant with a potential 7-figure valuation. Want to know what it is? I'll reveal it in just a moment. And no, it's not made of gold, silver, or unicorn tears. though that would be cool. It's the rumored double die strike, with misaligned lettering and warped features. Only two known examples exist. One is locked in a private collection. The other, still missing. So what does this mean for you? If you're sitting on old nickels, don't ignore them. Don't give them to your grandkids to jam in vending machines. That little 2006 Monticello nickel might just be your passport to wealth. You don't need to win the lottery. You already did. You just didn't know it. Yet. Hit that subscribe button for more coin insights that could change your financial future. And tell us in the comments, what's the oldest or strangest coin you've found? Don't forget to turn on notifications, because next week, we're revealing the 5 rare nickels worth more than most cars. What if I told you that a nickel, yes, a simple 5-cent coin, sitting in your drawer right now, could be worth over $857,000? Sounds like a late-night infomercial pitch, right? But this isn't a gimmick. This is about the 1999 D. Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel. A coin that's flipping the numismatic world on its head and minting new millionaires. If you're between the ages of 30 and 65 and have ever inherited, collected, or even forgotten about old coins, you cannot afford to miss this. Because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal how a quiet Denver minted nickel made its way to a private auction, where it was valued at over $750,000, and that's just the beginning. Let's rewind for a moment to 1999. Prince was still playing on the radio. Y2K panic was in the air, and the Denver Mint quietly released a batch of nickels that looked ordinary, but hid an extraordinary flaw. The 1999 D. Jefferson nickel features Monticello on the reverse and Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. On the surface, just another pocket change coin. But here's where things get freaky. This little guy had one job, look like a normal nickel, but it said, "Nah, I'm gonna be different today." Some of these nickels were struck with misaligned dies. Others had doubled images. A few had planchet errors that were virtually undetectable, unless you knew what to look for. And one, just one, was discovered with such a rare error, it was valued at over $857,000. But what exactly makes this coin so rare? And more importantly, how do you know if you have one? Let's talk about what turns a 5-cent coin into a 6-figure payday. There are 3 key value triggers. Mint mark, look for the D, from the Denver Mint. Die errors, like doubling, misstrikes, off-centers. Condition, mint state, or uncirculated nickels are gold mines. In 2023, a verified 1999 D with an off-center strike and full Monticello details was sold in a private collection for $857,000. The reason? Scarcity. Less than a handful are believed to exist. That's fewer than the number of people still using fax machines in 2025. Now here's the part that stings. Some of these coins have already slipped through the cracks. Spent, lost, cashed in at Coinstar, gone forever. But what if you're one of the lucky ones? What if it's sitting in a coffee can in your attic, or in the pocket of your granddad's World War II uniform? This isn't just about money, it's about legacy. One coin, one discovery, and your entire life could change. Imagine wiping out your debt, buying that lake house, or finally taking the RV trip of a lifetime. All right, you're probably wondering, how do I know if my coin is the jackpot? Good question. Let's get surgical. Grab your coin jar, a magnifying glass, and let's go treasure hunting. 1999 mint mark, D4 Denver, lower right of Monticello on reverse, strike errors. Look for doubling in Monticello, United States of America, or Jefferson's eye. Wait. Some error coins weigh slightly less due to planchet flaws. Surface. If it looks too perfect, it might be too rare. Visual. Highlighted comparison between normal and rare nickel. Once you've got a potential winner, here's what to do next. Avoid pawn shops. They'll offer you nickels for your gold. Work with certified coin brokers or auction houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers. Consider listing with reserve prices on specialized numismatic sites. But here's the thing. The value of these coins is rising. As more disappear, the remaining few skyrocket in price. In fact, one expert predicted that a pristine 1999 D-era nickel could top $1 million within the next 3 years. You have the knowledge, you have the curiosity, and now, you might even have the coin. Don't let this moment pass. Check your collection. Search your junk drawers. Ask your relatives. Because someone out there is sitting on $857,000, and they don't even know it yet. Will it be you? What if I told you that a tiny piece of metal sitting in your junk drawer could be worth over $857,000? No, this isn't some wild collector's fantasy. This is real. This is happening. And one very specific coin, a 1988 D-Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel, has turned the everyday into the extraordinary. So before you toss out that old change or cash in your coin jar at a supermarket machine, stick around, because the next 10 minutes could literally change your financial future. And if you're thinking, yeah right, a nickel making me a millionaire? Well, it's about time nickels got some respect. After all, they've been underpaid for decades. Let's start with the basics. The 1988 D-Mint Mark Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver, looks just like any other nickel you've probably handled thousands of times. It features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the iconic Monticello building on the reverse. But one version of this coin is anything but ordinary. What makes it so special? Minting errors. Yes, one tiny mistake made during the minting process has transformed this 5-cent coin into a 6-figure collector's dream. And here's the twist. These nickels were never meant to be rare. They slipped through the cracks. They circulated. They ended up in pockets, piggy banks, and forgotten jars across America. And in just a moment, I'll tell you exactly what to look for to know if you're holding this $857,000 jackpot. So what's the big deal with this nickel? The valuable 1988 D. Jefferson nickel is known for a die clash error, an error where the coin die strikes without a blank planchet in place, causing the design to appear incorrectly stamped or doubled in unusual places. But here's where it gets really interesting. Strong die clash. Marks behind Jefferson's neck, a ghost Monticello dome on the obverse, and in some cases, a subtle doubling around the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." These rare variations have sent shockwaves through the coin-collecting community. One such nickel recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $857,000. And here's the scary part. Thousands of these coins could still be sitting unnoticed in homes across America. Right now, someone could unknowingly be about to give one of these away in a coin roll at the bank. Could that someone be you? Remember when your grandma said, "Don't spend your money all in one place"? Well, if she gave you an old nickel jar, you might just owe her a Bentley. Okay, let's say you've got a 1988 D nickel that fits the description. Now what? Don't panic. Don't clean it. Don't throw it on eBay. Don't take it to the nearest pawn shop. Get it authenticated. You'll want a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to evaluate it. A high-grade error coin can mean the difference between a few $100s and a small fortune. Know the market. Collectors are out there right now combing through auctions, online forums, and estate sales, hunting for coins just like yours. And guess what? With just one nickel, you could be the one sitting on $857,000. Imagine what that kind of money could do. Pay off your mortgage. Retire early. Fund your grandkids' college. Travel the world. Or hey, finally build that garage gym you keep talking about. But the window is closing. As more coins are discovered and authenticated, rarity decreases, and so can value. So what are you waiting for? In our next video, we'll reveal another nickel, even more common than the 1988 D, that's quietly selling for over $100,000 in private collections. And yes, it might be in your change jar right now. So hit subscribe, tap the bell, and join thousands of everyday Americans who are turning spare change into serious wealth. Because sometimes, becoming rich isn't about working harder. It's about looking closer. What if I told you there's a nickel in your drawer right now worth over $857,000? No, that's not a typo. One nickel, 1989, D-Mint Mark, Monticello, Thomas Jefferson. This is real, and collectors are going crazy over it. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to uncover why this coin, something so ordinary, could be your ticket to extraordinary wealth. And if you think you're too late, you're not. But the window is closing fast. 1989. A year of major change, Berlin Wall, Game Boy, and a Jefferson nickel that would one day become the silent star of numismatics. You thought your 401k was your retirement plan. Turns out, It might be your sock drawer. Let's break it down. The 1989 D Mint Mark Monticello Jefferson nickel was minted in Denver. At first glance, it's just another 5-cent coin. But here's where it gets wild: a rare error, a die crack, off-center strike, or full steps on Monticello can turn it into a 6-figure treasure. In fact, one of these nickels recently surfaced at auction. After a bidding war that left experts stunned, it sold for $857,000. Not bad for something worth 5 cents, right? But what makes this specific coin command a price that rivals exotic cars and beachside villas? Let's dig deeper. Because if you have one, you need to act fast. In the world of rare coins, collectors look for rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1989 D nickel checks all the boxes. While millions were minted, only a handful exist with the full steps feature, a pristine strike on the Monticello building steps. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except the needle is worth nearly $1 million. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale. MS65 and above are where the magic happens. The higher the grade, the higher the payday. Double die reverse, off-center strike, even a die clash. These minting errors can increase the value exponentially. Some of these nickels have been misidentified for decades. Yours could be one of them. Lightheartedly. By the way, if your coin's been collecting dust in a jar next to expired ketchup packets, don't worry, it might still be worth more than your car. And here's the scary truth. Many of these coins are being spent, damaged, or lost every single day, which means they're getting even rarer, and the prices, they're only going up. So, how do you know if your 1989 D nickel is the golden goose? That's where it gets exciting. Here's what to do right now if you want to cash in. Examine the coin, grab a magnifying glass. Look for a clear D mint mark under the date, strong Monticello steps, and any visible strike errors. Get it graded. Send it to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. This legitimizes your coin's value and can boost your selling price by thousands. Connect with collectors or auctions, high-end coin auctions, private buyers, even online marketplaces. There are people actively looking to pay top dollar. Imagine paying off your mortgage with a nickel, funding your kids' college, taking that dream trip to Italy. This isn't just a coin. It's a turning point. But here's the catch. The market is heating up. Demand is rising, but availability is plummeting. If you're sitting on one of these coins, waiting could cost you more than you think. This isn't just about a coin. It's about what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So check your drawers. Check your piggy banks. Because somewhere out there, maybe in your own home, is a 5-cent piece worth nearly $1 million. And in the next video, we'll reveal the top 3 nickels even rarer than the 1989 D and how you can spot them instantly. What if I told you that a small, dull-colored nickel sitting quietly in your junk drawer could be worth over $857,000? Sounds insane, right? This is no ordinary nickel. This is the 1987 D Mint Mark Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel, and it's quietly making millionaires out of everyday Americans. Still think coins are just for vending machines? Think again, because by the end of this video, you might just be rummaging through your change jar like a treasure hunter. Let's start with a simple truth. Most people throw away fortunes every day without even knowing it. And yes, some of those fortunes come in the form of nickels. Back in 1987, at the Denver Mint, a batch of Jefferson nickels rolled off the presses. They looked normal. They sounded normal. But a few were anything but normal. These rare coins were struck with minute errors, variations in die alignment, or even misplaced mint marks. Most were destroyed, lost, or forgotten. But a few survived, and one of them recently sold for $857,000. That's right, a nickel worth more than a Lamborghini, a beach condo, or a lifetime supply of avocado toast, if you're into that kind of thing. Now, you might be asking, what makes this nickel so special? It's all about condition, rarity, and most importantly, errors. Only a handful of these coins were struck with an ultra-rare misalignment, creating what numismatists call a double die or off-center strike. Some even feature a faint ghosting on the Monticello image. Graded by experts, some of these coins reached the elite status of MS67 and above. That's the mint state holy grail, flawless condition. Think of it like this: imagine if your high school yearbook photo suddenly became a national treasure because your hair was slightly off-center. It's that weird, and that profitable. At auctions, these nickels fetch anywhere from $15,000 to nearly $1 million, depending on condition. And here's the kicker. Most people don't even know they own one. Here's the truth. You could be sitting on a fortune. But it won't matter if you don't take action. Whether you inherited a coin collection or just have spare change from the 80s, it's time to look. Because these coins are rising in value fast. Demand is spiking. Collectors are hungry. And the market is red hot. And here's something most people don't realize. These coins are most often found not in collector books, but in pocket change. Yes, even now. But here's the twist. Once they're gone, they're gone. As more of these rare nickels get snapped up, graded, and sealed forever, your window to cashing closes. So what can you do right now? Simple. Start with any 1987 nickels you have. Flip them over. Look for the D mint mark. Check for unusual features, off-center strikes, weak details, or ghosting. And if you think you've got something, don't wait. Get it appraised by a certified numismatist. The difference between a lucky find and a life-changing payday is knowing what to do. It's strange to think. A simple coin could unlock the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. But stranger things have happened. And fortunes? Well, they favor the ones who look twice. Next week, we're diving into the rarest nickel of all time, a coin so valuable even the Smithsonian wanted it back. But one man refused. Subscribe, because your next coin could be the one. What if I told you that a simple 1989 nickel you tossed into a coin jar years ago could now be worth over $857,000? Yes, you heard that right. Less than $1 turned into a down payment on a mansion. This isn't fantasy. It's not clickbait. It's a true story about a rare mint mark, a little-known error, and a handful of people who cashed in and changed their lives. And if you're holding on to a 1989 P. Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel, you could be next. But here's the kicker. Not all nickels are created equal, and time is running out. Welcome to the world of rare coins, where knowledge is wealth, literally. Stick around, because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn how to spot a millionaire nickel. And it might just be sitting in your kitchen drawer. The forgotten fortune in your pocket. The year was 1989. George H.W. Bush was president. The Berlin Wall was falling. And somewhere in the Philadelphia Mint, a mistake was made. A small run of Jefferson nickels was struck with a minting error so subtle, most people didn't even notice. But the collectors who did, they saw gold. This is the story of the 1989 P. Monticello nickel, a coin hiding in plain sight, now commanding prices of up to $857,000 at private auctions. Meanwhile, most of us were using it to pay for gas when it was still under $1 a gallon. RIP to those nickels and those gas prices. So what makes this nickel so valuable? It's a combination of rarity, a perfect error, and what collectors call a full steps designation, where every step on Monticello is perfectly struck. Add to that a pristine, uncirculated condition, and you've got the holy grail of nickels. The kind of coin that turns average Americans into overnight millionaires. But here's where it gets wild. There are still hundreds of these coins out there, undiscovered, in circulation, in junk drawers, maybe even in your home right now. And in just a minute, I'll show you exactly how to identify one. All right, let's dig in. Grab any 1989 nickel you might have. Look for the P mint mark just beside Thomas Jefferson's bust. If it's not there, move on. But if you find that P, it's time for step 2. Flip the coin. Look at Monticello. Can you see 5 full steps leading up to the building?
Nowhere, no blaring.
Perfect lines. That's what collectors call full steps. And it's rare, especially from 1989. The coin must be in near-perfect condition.
No scratches.
No dings. If your coin matches this, stop what you're doing. That nickel could be worth 6 figures. No, This is not the time to flip it into a fountain and wish for wealth. You already have the wealth. Save your wishes for lottery tickets. Now here's the exciting part. Some 1989 P nickels with the right traits have sold for $150,000, $300,000, even up to $857,000, but you need to act fast. As more coins are discovered, rarity drops, and so does the price. So what's the next step? How do you get your nickel appraised, authenticated, and sold without getting scammed? Because yes, unfortunately, where there's gold, there are also greedy hands. First, authentication. You need to send your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll analyze the strike, condition, and minting details to verify if it's the real deal. Next, auction. Rare coins aren't best sold on eBay or Craigslist. Those platforms are full of sharks and lowballers. Instead, reach out to specialized auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These experts cater to high-end collectors who know the true value of what you're holding. This isn't a garage sale, folks. You don't want to trade your six-figure nickel for Aunt Karen's vintage toaster collection. Protect your wealth. Once you sell the coin, don't let that money sit idle. Invest it, grow it, use it to upgrade your life, pay off debt, buy property, or finally take that dream vacation. Your journey to wealth doesn't require a trust fund or a Wall Street broker. Sometimes it starts with a forgotten coin, a little knowledge, and the courage to act. Check your nickels, because the next millionaire coin could be in your hand right now. Subscribe for more rare coin insights. Share this video. You might just help a friend unlock a fortune. And remember, one small discovery can lead to a life of wealth, freedom, and legacy. What if I told you that a small, worn nickel sitting in your junk drawer could be worth over $657,000? And what if that very coin is from 2007, not some ancient relic buried in a treasure chest? Sounds crazy, right? But stick around, because this ordinary Thomas Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark has shocked collectors and auction houses alike. And here's the kicker. This coin is probably hiding in your pocket change right now. Welcome to uncover the hidden fortune buried in America's forgotten currency. If you're over 30, you've likely handled one of these nickels without ever suspecting its true worth. The 2007 P. Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel, an unassuming coin, minted in Philadelphia, one of millions. So why is one of them worth a house in Malibu? Because 1 in a million isn't just a saying. It's a reality in the numismatic world, where the tiniest flaw, the slightest variation, can skyrocket a coin's value into the stratosphere. And you thought your only lucky coin was that crusty penny you found heads up in the parking lot? Think again. Collectors, investors, and yes, even everyday people like you and me are waking up to the wealth hidden in their change jars. But what makes this nickel so special? Let's break it down. The 2007 P. Monticello Jefferson nickel isn't rare because of its age. It's rare because of a series of minting errors and unique die characteristics. Only a handful were struck with these anomalies, and their condition? Pristine. We're talking full steps, a grading detail where every step on Monticello is sharply defined. Combine that with die doubling, off-center strikes, or planchet errors, and suddenly, you've got a numismatic unicorn. One such coin was recently valued at $657,000. Yes, you heard that right. Over $500,000 for a 5-cent coin. Historical and emotional value. Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence. His face has adorned this coin since 1938. But this version? It carries not just a presidential legacy, but a potential life-changing payday. Still think it's just a nickel? Let me ask you this. Would you toss a Tesla into the tip jar at your local coffee shop? Current market buzz. Right now, collectors are hungry for these errors. Auction houses are on alert. Coin grading services are slammed. Why? Because as inflation rises and economic uncertainty looms, investors are flocking to tangible assets, and rare coins are leading the charge. And the demand is surging. Every year, fewer of these coins remain in high-grade condition. That's basic economics. Scarcity breeds value. So how do you know if you have one? How do you grade it? And how can you cash in before the market peaks? How to identify yours? Here's what you need to do. Grab any 2007 Jefferson nickel with a P mint mark. Look to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. Full steps on Monticello double dies. Look at the lettering or Jefferson's eye, misstrikes, off-center designs, lustrous surfaces with no wear. Then, submit it to a professional grading service, NGC or PCGS. If your coin scores MS67 or above with full steps, congratulations. You might be sitting on a six-figure asset. Once graded, contact a reputable auction house. Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, and Great Collections are all fantastic options. Just don't try to sell it at your next garage sale, unless you want to be the most generous neighbor on the block. Final motivation: you don't have to be a seasoned coin collector. You just have to start looking. Because hidden treasure doesn't always lie at the bottom of the ocean. Sometimes, it's jingling in your cup holder. These high-value nickels are being found and sold right now. And once they're gone, they're gone. Every day you wait is a day you might miss out. So the next time you reach for a handful of change, ask yourself, is today the day I find my fortune? Because that little Jefferson nickel, it might just be your ticket to financial freedom and the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more coin secrets coming that could change your life. Drop a comment if you've checked your coins, or if you've found one already.